Which single player video games would you consider a masterpiece? Portal. The storytelling and clever humor makes for something special. I'll replay Portal 2 single player anytime. Doom, the classic one. Not only was Doom a masterpiece, it was also a watershed moment in video gaming. I'd go so far as to say there are two eras of video games, before Doom and after. Chrono Trigger. Legendary game. I've played this once every year for the last 3 years. It's different every single time. If they ever decide to reboot this series, I hope it lives up to the name. Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door is one of my favorite games of all time. I'd consider it a masterpiece for sure. One of the closest a game has come to perfect in my opinion. Half-Life 2. Ori and the Blind Forest. I don't think Okami has been mentioned yet, so I'll mention it. Okami is truly a blessing. Bloodborne. Super Mario Bros. 3. Red Dead Redemption. Paper Mario. Thousand Year Door is so good. Honestly, Nintendo would make some hella bank if they remade a lot of top tier GameCube games like Double Dash, Sunshine, Paper Mario, Sonic Adventure 2, etc. Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater. Most of the MGS games, I'd say. Currently playing through them again and just finished MGS2 the other day. Almost forgot how mad it gets at the end. Stardew Valley. Absolutely amazing. It was made by one guy, and in only 4 years. That just seems like an insane amount of work. Writing all the music, all the dialogue, designing all the graphics. I would be constantly second guessing myself and never get it done. Super Metroid. Metroid Prime 2. Hollow Knight. I would kill to have my memories wiped so I can experience City of Tears for the first time again. Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2. Fallout, New Vegas. KOTOR is unequivocally a masterpiece. KOTOR 2, to me, is almost a masterpiece though. Super Mario 64. Don't get me wrong, Mario 64 is perfection and holds up so well even today. But Super Mario Sunshine will always have that special place in my heart. Don't get me wrong, Super Mario Sunshine is perfection and holds up so well even today. But Super Mario Galaxy will always have that special place in my heart. Don't get me wrong, I've never played Mario Sunshine or Mario Galaxy. But Super Mario Bros. 3 was the best. Just choose single player. Dead Space. The Shadow of Colossus. This is an example of something transcendent. More than just a game as art. A beautiful experience. It's pretty neat, I guess. The Elder Scrolls 3rd, Morrowind, was one of those games where I would just walk around floored. I was so immersed. Survive an ash storm. Walking around practically blind. When the air clears up, and before you is a floating transparent octopus gone blimp creature as big as the Hindenburg, which allows you to walk up and inspect it as it lazily floats off because it's non-hostile. Continue making your way east, still thinking about the blimp thing, when you come across Vivek City, poised over a placid lake of the most beautifully rendered water of its time. Mystified, walk into the city and find it bustling with raspy voiced guardsmen, traders of all wares, and people just living and getting by. Everything about the buildings are unique to Vivek, down to the architecture and coloring from floor to ceiling. Game had its flaws, but that first playthrough was ducking amazing. I couldn't believe I got it bundled free when I bought a then new Voodoo 3, intended mainly for Quake 3 and Tribes 2. BioShock. I'm starting this journey on the weekend. A lot of recommendations for people telling me to play this. Yep, play at night and listen to all the audios. Don't tell him what to do. A man chooses, a slave obeys. Portal 2. It's crazy how at the end you just know what you got to do when they show the moon. Tetris. I want to add one that I personally think cemented Nintendo as the best handheld system. Pokemon Gold/Silver. I have such amazing memories of that game. Discovering the legendaries for the first time. Meeting the dogs. Fighting the Elite Four. It was amazing. If someone were to ask me which Pokemon game they should play to get into the series, I would tell them Gold/Silver. Masterpiece status in my eyes. Banjo-Kazooie. RimWorld. Let's make hats out of the other answers. Minecraft. Dark Souls. I started playing Dark Souls when it came out in 2011, and I just beat it last week. Such a deeply dark and moving game. It's beautiful and haunting, and I'll never forget the crater my controller left in the wall. Fuck Dark Souls. 10/10ths best game ever. Persona 5. Ocarina. I think all Zelda games have a place in this conversation. Chrono Trigger. FF7. Half-Life 2. Nier Automata. Super Mario 64. Legend of Zelda. A Link to the Past. The Last of Us. Dragon Age Origins. Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 and more recently Parkitect. Mario Odyssey is great for playing alone. I didn't think I'd ever like a Mario game more than Super Mario 64. But Odyssey shattered all of my expectations. I honestly bought a Switch just for that game, and I haven't been disappointed. Any Ratchet and Clank. Resident Evil 4. Fallout New Vegas. All the Uncharted series. The story is just so good. And also Tomb Raider. Horizon Zero Dawn. Fucked it, though. Castlevania, Symphony of the Night. I can't believe I had to scroll this far to find this. Skyrim, despite its bugs. Red Dead Redemption 2 and The Legend of Zelda. Breath of the Wild. I know they're obvious picks, but they're such good games. RDR2 was about as perfect of a video game experience as I've ever had. Some aspects of the gameplay were clunky, but the dialogue and character development, not just of the author, but nearly every NPC, was on par with the best TV shows or movies out there. I know it will not happen, but I really want single player DLC, mostly because I cannot stand/tolerate most online PvP games. Halo 2. They nailed that opening cutscene with the Arbiter summarizing the last game, and the gameplay was solid, too. Skyrim. Honestly, it's a game I can put down for months, come back and start a new profile, and get totally engrossed in again. Assassin's Creed 2 and or Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Great story and just awesome open world roaming around different parts of Italy. The mechanics and overall feel of the game wasn't as bogged down with overzealous detail as the new games in the series do. I can see the argument of too much faffing around in the outside world segments, but in retrospect I still didn't mind them at all. They still added something to the storyline and feel of the game and somewhat explained the precursor snippets you see throughout the game. Overall, I think it just nailed what it tried to do at the time and created something that can still hold up if played today. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.